is Alicia Lemon-Holt. I'm the Education and Outreach Coordinator at the Hinsdale Wave Research Laboratory. So the Hinsdale Wave Research Laboratory is a large-scale coastal engineering laboratory, which means that we have two large tanks. One is called the Large Wave Flume. It's 342 feet long, it's 15 feet deep, and it's 12 feet wide. And then we have the directional wave basin, which is 86 feet wide by 160 feet long by 7 feet deep. Both of these have wave makers on them that are capable of making tsunami type waves and wind type waves and hurricane type waves. So we are the largest tsunami research facility in the United States, kind of by an order of magnitude. Nobody else has anything close to what we have. So what makes the Wave Lab is that we make really big waves. What's really important about our tank is that we can run very accurate and very repeatable waves every single time. So every time if I say to make, a 0.8, well, say a 10 centimeter wave, it makes the same wave, it makes a 10 centimeter wave, and it makes it every single time. It looks exactly the same. So we make them, we have a large paddle. So the large wave flume has a single paddle, and we can retract it up to 2 meters all the way back. And then when we want to make a tsunami, we basically push that all the way forward, and we can vary the speed, and that'll change the amplitude of the wave. And so what we can do is if we move it very fast, we can make a very big wave. And we actually do more than make a wave. We actually end up basically pushing a lump of water through the tank. So we actually displace the water itself, as opposed to a wave, which would just be energizing water molecules, and the energy moves, but the water molecules stay stationary. And so both of our tanks have that capacity to essentially shove or push the water up onto the beach, and we create what's very similar to a very long period wave. The lab rents for about $4,500 a day, and that comes with the water, whichever tank you want to use, our technicians, and any instrumentation that we happen to have available at the time. But if you have any, but then you have to bring a model. Typically people bring models in to test. They either are looking at how a structure affects a tsunami wave, or how a tsunami or a hurricane or a wind wave would affect a structure. And then the other major cost is how many days you want to test. A very short project would be about a week for setup, testing, and then taking it down. But I've seen projects that run 4 to 5 months. So we service all the universities in the United States. They can come, and we're open for their research. So those groups come in and they do research, they do basic questions. So on a slow year, it might be only one. In a really busy year, we could have 4 to 5. Then last summer, we had a group from OSU and then a group from UW in the large wave flume, and they were there for almost 6 months. And then we get private industry that come in, and they're interested. A lot of that is wave energy developers or firms that are developing coastal engineering solutions. Another unique feature of our lab is that it's almost always safe to walk around it. A lot of, and it's a very visual lab because we make big waves and we splash them into stuff, and it's pretty fun. So a lot of labs are either when no testing is going on, there's really nothing to see, or when testing is going on, it's really dangerous and you can't walk around. And since all the testing happens inside of our tanks, your biggest risk of being injured at the Wave Lab is getting wet feet, getting splashed. And so we use our lab to sort of talk about science and engineering to both K-12 populations, undergraduates, and the general public. And so we bring 4,000 to 6,000 people through the lab a year, which is small if you look at what a science center does, but it's pretty big for just a lab on a university campus. So we have 4 main missions, which is to tell people about engineering and civil engineering as a career, talk to them about how engineers are solving problems, talk a little bit about how we use modeling, and science uses modeling to solve problems or to understand and study problems, and then a little bit about tsunami hazards on the Oregon coast and tsunami safety. So all visitors kind of hear a bit about all of those when they come through a tour. So we bring about 3,500 K-12 students and between 500 and 1,000 general public through the lab a year. If you want to just be a student worker out at the lab, you have to typically be an engineering student. That's who we typically hire. You have to be willing to sort of get wet and dirty and work on stuff that can be kind of tedious and boring. So, I like to say we often have students to do things like sort rocks. And for researchers, you have to have a degree in coastal engineering. You have to be interested in researching on tsunamis. You also have to be willing to be, occasionally cold and wet and do things like that. So those are kind of the characteristics of the people that work there. It's a little bit of a unique place. For the staff that staff it, you typically have to have a degree in coastal engineering and understanding something about the instruments you would use in a coastal setting, but they're in a lab setting and not an ocean setting, so it's a very interesting, unique mix out there. The answer is technically no, we don't allow playing in the waves. However, on hot summer days, after 5 o'clock, undergraduates have been known, maybe it's rumored that they have been known to get in the tank, but really people don't stay in for very long because it's pretty cold all year round.